Alhamdulillah wa salatu wa salam ala rasulillah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Amma ba'd. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wa hlul uqdatan min lisani yafqahu qawli. Subhanaka la ilma lana illa ma 'allamtana innaka antal alimul hakim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. We are starting second lesson of Surah Al-Mutaffifeen. We've done the introduction, now we'll go straight to the tafsir. As we have done previously, we are linking the Bismillah with the context of the surah. So Bismillah. I think we have already discussed this, but what happens is that we break in three different parts. So Bismillah, in the name of Allah, who that Allah is. This is what we learn in the surah. Ar-Rahman, the sifa of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the entirely merciful. What kind of sifat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, attributes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have been mentioned in the surah, which relates to this attribute of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And then Ar-Rahim, similarly we do with the attribute of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So in the name of Allah, so there are a few sifat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that have been mentioned in the surah. That is that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is Al-Malik, Hafiz, Al-Mannan. Okay, these are the names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but the sifat of these names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have been mentioned in the Quran, in the surah, that He is the King, the Preserver, the Beneficent Bestower of bounties. Ar-Rahman, the entirely merciful. He has established justice in measure and scale. You see, this is from His Rahmaniyah. Ar-Rahim, the especially merciful. Aliyin has been specified for the exalted people's soul deed book. Ayah number 1. وَيْلٌ لِلْمُطَفِّفِينَ, woe to those who give less. And from here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives a zajr to mutaffifeen, reprimand to these mutaffifeen, and وَتَرْغِيبْ إِلَى الْإِيمَانِ وَأَعْمَالِ الصَّالِحَةِ, and Allah gives encouragement that you must do good a'mal to iman and to good a'mal, to a'mal salihah. Okay, this is targhib, encouragement. Wail, the word wail, there are few meanings that ulama gives. One is that when you, in normal language, when you feel really sad for someone's situation, okay, that like what has he done to himself, that kind of thing. Then wail is like a curse as well, like what is wrong with you be destruction be upon you, like that kind of thing, like a curse. And wail, that second one, that is like a curse. There is a hadith where Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam have been narrated to have said, وَيْلٌ لِلَّذِي يُحَدِّثُ فَيَكْذِبُ لِيُضْحِكَ بِهِ الْقَوْمِ وَيْلٌ لَهُ وَيْلٌ لَهُ, that woe to him who tells things speaking falsely to make people laugh thereby. Woe to him, woe to him. So this is that kind of wail. And lastly, the third one is the wail is a valley in Jahannam, where the rest of the Jahannam seeks refuge from it. Okay, that's how it's full of pain and bad situations. There is ikhtilaf, there is a talk about the sanad of this hadith, or this narration where it says that wail is a place in Jahannam. However, we're not going to the details of that, but it's just an opinion that's out there as well. Just wanted to mention it. You see, all those three meanings of wail we can apply, okay, to the first few ayat, and inshallah it will make sense. So like, if you say, talking about someone's sad situation, that you feel sorry for this guy. This is like this person who sells akhirah, sells Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, okay, his deen, his sharia, Quran and Sunnah, okay, in order to take a little benefit of this dunya. How sad is his situation? How sorry is his situation, that he does this. Okay, like in dunya, just imagine the way we deal in dunya, Someone takes sweets, okay, like a child, who takes sweets okay, and he is ready to give gold for it, because sweet has a taste, the gold doesn't have a taste. Okay, so this is that kind of situation. Like, how sad and sorry is the situation of this criminal who sells the deen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He does not care of the boundaries of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala just to benefit little in this dunya. Okay, this is one. The second one, the utter destruction, is like how evil of this mindset this person has, that if same thing happens to him, he would hate it, and he will become like full of anger, and so if he sees the situation, his mood will be in a different state. But he is happy to do this with other people, okay, when he comes to him. This is the evil mindset. Okay, these are the criminals of the society. That destruction before these criminals, that we don't want them in the society, really. Yeah, as a human being living in a peaceful society, we don't want these kind of criminals. So you curse these kind of people. This is one. Second one. Third, that Jahannam before these criminals, yeah, like I said, well, could be a valley in Jahannam, as it comes in various narrations, not talking about this chain and things like that. But if we say this is Jahannam, okay, is that this criminal who is ready to break the boundaries of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he does not care about halal or haram, he does not care about the happiness, the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, his anger, his sadness, okay, for his own whims and desires. His own whims and desires are above Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So this criminal is going ahead and he is heading towards Jahannam. Going to the next point, Lil-Mutaffifeen. Who are these Mutaffifeen? What is it stand for? They say, the ulama talks about this. This is the act of this criminal is that they take, maybe for example, they are selling 1 kg of items, yeah, they will reduce like 5 grams or 7 grams or 10 grams, something like that, okay, or very tiny amount, 2-3 grams. So even if the person finds out, he will feel ashamed to come and confront the seller. Yeah, so in that kind of situation, they look for tiny profit of this dunya, and they are ready to sacrifice the entire akhirah for it. This also applies to, for example, if someone does labor, okay, and he is contracted to work till 5 p.m., 9 to 5, and then he finish at around 4:30 or 4:45 or something like that. So he eats away those 15 minutes or 30 minutes, something like that. Okay, 10 minutes or 5 minutes. He finishes early, so he is from those people who does tatfif. From them is in the scales that happens. One is that you see in the front with the scales, yeah, that people put like a stone or they put something inside the goods and things like that to give it more weight and things like that. Or that's in front of you. And then there are other people, okay, who play with the mechanics, the engineering of the machinery, that they steal. Even though it seems like you are getting 1 kg or 1 liter of things, but in reality it's less. Like I think I've seen a video or something like that people go to these fuel stations, and they have like a 1 liter of bottle, and 1 liter of fuel, and they said put it in a bottle, and then it's less than and it's not full, okay, as it should be. But it's because even though the screen says 1 liter has been completed, but it's less than that, because they play with the mechanics and things like that, which is all are included. So also the ulama say that this tatfif that has been mentioned in here in the first few ayat, it applies to everything is general. Okay, so it applies to Sharia. The way one does action, it has to be measured, it has to be scaled with Quran and Sunnah. Whether it fits the criteria of these two, then acceptable to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If it is outside the boundaries of Quran and Sunnah, then it is not acceptable to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and one is doing tatfif. There was a post or a video that I saw or something, so I'm not sure how authentic it is, but I think it has a greater point. One point that I wanted to mention is, you see that there was this old man who was selling black tea, and you see when they put tea, when they sell tea, they put it in a paper bag and then they put it on the scale. So On the other side, where they put the stones like 200 gram, 500 gram, whatever, okay, they put the stones. So he used to put like a paper bag underneath those stones. Okay, so someone asked him like, why are you doing this? So he responded that I am selling tea and not bags, because he put a bag in order to measure the tea, yeah, in order to put the thing, to scale that thing, the items that he was selling. So he was that much cautious that for this few grams or 1 or 2 grams, whatever, how heavy the paper was, yeah, for that he was careful, because he understood that Qiyamah is coming. He understood that if I was to give less, okay, I will be held accountable. Okay, so that's why for the small, that's how they use their brain, the pious people, that they look at every opportunity to stay in the boundaries of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, look at every opportunity to please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Even if it's going to harm their business, as people see with their eyes, yeah. In reality, it does not harm. It only benefits, only barakat will come when it's in the boundaries of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the sharia. Then you will have barakats and things like that. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will remove so many difficulties, so many illnesses, so many situations that the business will affect will come. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will remove this when someone's stay in the boundaries of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when someone is ready to give his wealth in the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah will bring khair, like it comes in the Quran. وَمَن يَتَّقِ اللَّهَ يَجْعَلْ لَهُ مَخْرَجًا وَمَن يَتَّقِ اللَّهَ يَرْزُقْهُ مِنْ حَيْثُ لَا يَحْتَسِبْ. Yeah, in that, this is taqwa, that you are cautious of the duties of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Then Allah will look after you. Allah will give you provision from places you do not expect, from ways that you did not think that will come. Yeah. So this is with regards to the first ayah. Going to the second ayah, الَّذِينَ إِذَا اكْتَالُوا عَلَى النَّاسِ يَسْتَوْفُونَ, who when they take a measure from people, take in full. This is their attitude when they want their own things, they want their own right, they make sure that they get full. Okay, the Tafseer Ibn Kathir, he writes that yastawfoon is meaning they take their right by demanding full measure and extra as well on top of it. Yeah, this is their mentality when they're taking things from other people. And ulama say that the alannas, the ala is used instead of linnas. Okay, that this is like their mentality is there like a bully. They muscle their way to get whatever they want. Yeah, this is their mindset when they want things for themselves. However, when they do it for others, which is coming later on, they cause loss. This is their way of dealing. This is the way of their business. And as we have mentioned before, this is one type of fraud that these criminals do. There are others. Yeah, it applies to everything. The ulama say this applies to a husband who wants his wife to give him full right, but he does not give it back. It applies to an employer who wants his employees to complete all their contract properly, do all their duties, be on time, clean, and whatever they are doing, they're meant to do, complete their task and whatever they're meant to do. Complete that properly, on time, be here on time, finish on time, and maybe finish a bit late as well. Okay, put extra from your own side. But when it comes to giving them their salary, okay, being with them with good manners, that thing they are not present. Okay, this situation is something different. A parent who expect their kids, okay, to be to have good manners, to respect them, to honor them, to obey them. Yeah, they want this from the kids, but they do not give their rights to the kids, or the other way around, and things apply. This goes on and on. Shaykh Salam Rustami rahimahullah, he gives a few examples of this tatfif, okay, this frauding, this double standards. Yeah, so he says that you yourself don't measure your actions with Sharia, but tell other people to do so. Okay, it's also the one who criticizes, the one who does tanqeed on other people, but when same thing happens to him, okay, he cannot digest it, he cannot take it. You ask people for proofs for their actions, but when you do it yourself, you do not care. There is no proof for your actions. Okay, so it applies to everything that one does. It's a general, and this one is an example that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives in here, that when they measure or when they give by weight, okay, that come in the second ayah, the third ayah, that when they measure or when they give by weight, they cause damage. When they want to take it for themselves, in the second ayah, they want it full. And like Tafseer Ibn Kathir says, they demand full and they want even extra on top of it. Okay, they are like a bully. They muscle their way to take whatever their right is, but they do not care of other people's right. Okay, ayah number 3. وَإِذَا كَالُوهُمْ أَوْ وَزَنُوهُمْ يُخْسِرُونَ. But if they give by measure or by weight to them, they cause loss. Okay, Sheikh Muhammad Tahir Panjpiri rahimahullah, he mentions a beautiful point. You see, he says that in here you see how much they love dunya in comparison to akhirah. These people, okay, when they want dunya, they want it full measure, or they want even extra on top of it. But when it comes to their akhirah in here, okay, because when they're selling things, or when any business that they do, or any action one does, okay, they are careless about it. Okay, they even go and transgress the boundaries. They go take people's right away in the process, just for their own dunya. Do not care about the akhirah at all. And this is the message of the surah and the few surahs that we have done, the ithbati qiyamah, affirmation of qiyamah. So in here we learn the mentality with regards to qiyamah, that they do not have the sense of accountability. They do not expect that they will be held accountable for the action that they're doing. Okay, the things that they're stealing, these few grams, or the way they are dealing in the mechanics of the way they are put the things out. Okay, or the way they are going against the Quran and Sunnah and adding things to Quran and Sunnah because of their own whims and desire, and do not fear the akhirah at all. Those people who does bid'at or sins and things like that, they don't have any conscience with regards to this accountability, that I will be held questionable. Allah will ask me questions about this. Or the good actions that I do, okay, I should increase and I should do more because I will get reward for it on akhirah. When that conscience is not there, then this guy is an animal. Whenever he gets an opportunity, he will get whatever he wants in this dunya to please his own whims and desires and to provide for his family. It does not matter to them whether it's halal or haram. Tafseer Sa'adi, he mentions a beautiful point as well. He says that this is the warning for those people who give short measure and short weight. Yeah. So then those who takes people's wealth by force or stealing, this warning is definitely deserving for them as well. Okay, that wailul lil-mutaffifeen. You see, our religion, Islam, came to rectify all the problem in the society. Okay, this point where people are required to give its due share to people, do not steal from people, has been mentioned in various different places. Okay, to give full measure, yeah, this applies to everything, as we have said. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَأَوْفُوا الْكَيْلَ وَالْمِيزَانَ بِالْقِسْطِ, and give full measure and weight in justice. وَأَوْفُوا الْكَيْلَ إِذَا كِلْتُمْ وَزِنُوا بِالْقِسْطَاسِ الْمُسْتَقِيمِ ذَلِكَ خَيْرٌ وَأَحْسَنُ تَأْوِيلًا, and give full measure when you measure, and weight with an even, honest balance. That is the best and best in result. That is the best way and best in result. أوفوا الكيل ولا تكونوا من المخسرين. Give full measure and do not be of those who cause loss. And I think in Surah Rahman, وَأَقِيمُوا الْوَزْنَ بِالْقِسْطِ وَلَا تُخْسِرُوا الْمِيزَانَ, and establish weight in justice and do not make deficient the balance. And there was a nation that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bring and mention in their accounts in the Quran, how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala destroyed them. That nation's mentality is very same to the mentality of the Europe. But nowadays, okay, so many countries, especially the Muslims, unfortunately, they see the business way of the Europe is the way. Their social life is the way. They look at the way they are living is the way of living. Yeah, I hope that the D makes sense. Like, this is the way. That is the way to do business. Yeah, like that's like the proven way. Now judge their way with this nation that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala destroyed. So they have stolen from the people whom Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has destroyed. Okay, they look at their business way. Yeah, this democracy or this free economy. This nation is the nation of Shu'aib alayhi salam, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala destroyed them. Their mentality with their wealth and their business was that قالوا يا شعيب أصلاتك تأمرك أن نترك ما يعبد آباؤنا أو أن نفعل في أموالنا ما نشاء. Of course, they denied the da'wah tawheed, da'wah Shu'aib alayhi salam gave to the nation, but also they said not to do with our wealth, like you order us not to do with our wealth what we please. This is our wealth. We gonna spend it the way we want. Who are you to tell us? Who are you to put rules and regulation and policy for our wealth? Okay, this is their mentality. It's our wealth, we will spend it the way we spend. Okay, look at the situation of these big guys, yeah, that we see as our role models. Unfortunately, they are full in debt. Okay, their free economy is to do interest. Okay, their entire countries are based on interest, and you see how vicious is this module of interest. Okay, those people who have studied this, they study this, the effects of this on the society, they will come to a realization how severe that is. Gambling, okay, it is a disaster of the society as well. Okay, we have NHS and things like that. Yeah, they give like remedies, or they give like they have this information on their website that this thing will happen and this thing will happen, so you should avoid gambling. Okay, all this is your free will. Yeah, my money, the way I do things, I should do. I don't want any regulation and policies on my wealth. I will do whatever I want to do with it. Yeah, if they do not follow the rules of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is our master, the creator. He is our designer. He knows what is best for us. If you leave that best way, of course we're going to end up in darknesses and filth. Okay, so they say the problems of gambling, some of the gambling that I copied from the website, yeah, they say it reduces quality of life. Of course, it's going to really reduce the quality of life. Okay, is one, you're not going to have lots of money, yeah, and you're going to have very less free time as well, because you're going to be in casinos, you're going to be in the gambling shops. Okay, you focused on this thing, whether it's going to fail or it's going to win, whether I'm going to lose or win. You'll be in constant stress and things like that. Okay, you won't be able to focus on your life, the things you meant to achieve, because you are in this fairy tale world that you will earn millions in one go, and then you will deal with it the way you want to deal with. Okay, and you must have seen the situation of those people, those unfortunate people, we would say, who have won. Okay, and they have destroyed their life with it. Okay, and they say you will have problems with your social life. Okay, this will be, you will avoiding seeing your friends and going out to see the qudra of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, this amazing creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You won't be able to enjoy your life basically. Okay, you will have physical illness caused by spending more time in gambling, less time being active, as well as potentially drinking more alcohol, okay, to avoid distress. Of course, you're going to remember this. You will be taking drugs. You will look for ways to forget about your losses. This money that you have spent and you have lost in this gambling, in this situation, you relay your financial problems. Of course, you will just build up till you sell your house, till you sell your cars, till you sell everything that you have. Okay, you will be on streets and things like that. Relationship problems and conflict at home, definitely. You're going to have, your brain is not going to be present. You will be in worry. If someone says a small thing, you will be already full of problems and worries and concerns, and someone give you and say something to you that you do not appreciate, or even you would appreciate in normal time, but at this time you got so much burden on your head. If someone says anything, you will burst open. Your relationships will be broken with your children, your wife, your mother, your parents. You will not give their rights. And it continues and continues. There's so many problems. We're not going to spend time on that. But this is the situation of these people. Okay? This is the situation. This, you see, one thing I wanted to mention is that why they drink alcohol. Okay? We as Muslims, okay, those people who have good life, okay, what is the best thing about when they sit down with their friends and things like that is to remember those good times. Talk about, oh, I have done this and this and this and this. Okay, I have, my kids are studying this part of the Quran and they're doing this and this and this. Okay, talking about that, enjoying this kind of conversation and things like that. What is their situation? Drink alcohol so you can forget whatever you have done in your life, so you can chill out. So that's how filthy their life is. There is nothing that they can enjoy. There is nothing that they can talk about. It's like it's animal situation that they only enjoy this little portion, okay, or they enjoy the things that they don't want to remember the things that they have done. So that's how, I'm not sure how I'm putting the example properly, that the situation is really sad. There is nothing good in their life, okay, and the only good that they have is drinking this alcohol, which is all about forgetting what they have done. Okay, this is their cycle, continuous cycle. Okay, and it's a very sad situation especially for those people who look up to these kind of criminals, that I think their way is our way. No, this is not. And one must hate it with their full heart. And if anyone has any source of desire to be like them, it's very sad. Okay, going to the next ayah. Before even we say that, there is another Shaykh, he gives various examples of tatfif, of those people, the defrauding. I think it's important that we mention those examples because it will make it more clearer. His name is Muhammad Abdul Haqqani. He has written a tafsir called Fathul Mannan, also known as Haqqani, something like that, tafsir. He says that from the tatfif is that when you look for faults in other people, but you do not care about your own faults, you expect other people to own and respect you, but you do not do that to them. You expect Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you want rizq and honor and forgiveness from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but you do not care about His boundaries. You make your apparent like pious, long, nice beard, beautiful jubba, maybe the people that wear on their heads, not the hats or the other thing, okay. You are with nice perfume, you go miswak in your thing, okay, or maybe you are wearing proper nice niqab if you are a female, okay, and so on, but internally you are shaitan. Okay, this is all from tatfif, this is all from the filth that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants people to avoid. Okay, anyone who has this kind of situation, this kind of attitude, they have problems with the akhirah, which is coming next, ayah number 4. أَلَا يَظُنُّ أُولَٰئِكَ أَنَّهُمْ مَبْعُوثُونَ. Do they not think that they will be resurrected? The way they are behaving, it does not show that they have this belief that they will be getting consequences of these crimes. Otherwise they would have stopped. Okay, if they believed that they will be getting rewards for the good deeds, wouldn't they have increased it? Okay, this is the situation. Okay, so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions the sole reason for their behavior, for this tatfif that they're doing. And I think we have already mentioned the 6 different types of evil beliefs with regards to Qiyamah. And this was we done it in Surah Amma يتساءلون الذي هم فيه مختلفون, in that ayah I think, where we started from the atheism to agnostic to those people who believe we go shufa'at, that will help us out. Allah has favored us in this dunya, He will not leave us like this in akhirah. Our forefathers, we are from the family of Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Sahaba, and this and this and this and this, Allah will forgive, and so on. And lastly, the one we done recently, Ya ayyuhal insanu ma gharraka bi rabbikal kareem. Those people who think that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is Ghafoor Rahim, let me continue to transgress the boundaries of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and Allah will forgive. Okay, this is from the Tatfif, as we have mentioned earlier. Okay, this is their mentality, and here is another type of that as well, where they say with their words that they believe in Akhirah, they are Muslims, and they're praying Salah as a pattern that you see, and they're saying we believe in Quran, we believe in Sunnah, and this and this and this. But in reality, their actions, their behavior, their attitude with the boundaries of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is extremely careless. They do not care. Furthermore, you see in here, one thing we can also learn is that these criminals, they continue in this fashion till it becomes their second nature. For example, now I can give you example of UK, that when someone do their accounts at the end of the year or after whatever time they do their accounts, I think it's after 1 year, for everyone be self-employed and for the businesses, especially for the small businesses, they do their accounts and they cheat. Okay, they will be scared in the first year or second year or third year, then it becomes their habit of stealing. Okay, from the government or from the people or whatever. Yeah, it becomes their habit, and then it becomes their second nature. Firstly they will be nervous, then they become confident, and then later on they want to give this business idea to other people as well. It's only because they do not fear now that the inspector or this investigation might happen to him, because they have become so blinded because of their behavior. They do not think that there are any consequences. Similarly, these criminals who continue in their filth, okay, maybe one day they steal, they might be scared, okay, from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala or whatever, okay. But basically the Muslims we're talking about, because Quran, only the Muslims read the Quran, and those who are not Muslim yet, they only see it and then they become Muslims. Those people who are pious heart, okay, and if they have filthy and the fitrah is distorted, the criminal, they don't look for these kind of guidance. But the guidance is for those people who wants Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So those people, okay, these people who have some sort of conscious of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when they do some crime, first initially they will be scared of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then they do it again, this decreases and decreases till it becomes in second nature. They don't even remember that it's halal or haram. It has become their habit, or it has become the situation of the community or the culture or the society. Like for example, take an example of weddings nowadays. In the UK, I'll give you example, I'm not sure about how it happens in other countries. Okay, you have people, they will have mixed gathering, full on music on, they will have the most expensive or beautiful hotels and things booked while they cannot afford it. Okay, they will have ladies full of makeup, wearing perfume that one can smell from a mile away. Okay, there no scarves, no awra is open. Basically dancing with strange men, sitting with strange men. Okay, strange men like they would know them, okay, but they should not be with them. And that kind of situation. The men on the other side, they have haram haircut, wearing tight clothes, or maybe even they trim their beards and things like that. And so much filth that happens in this one night or one day. Okay, forget about what happens before the wedding and after the weddings. Okay, the rights and the huquq of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that have been broken left and right, that's a different situation. Now this is a norm of the society. Okay, people do it. Okay, this is normal now. Why has it become normal? Imagine those people, if they were pious people and one does this. Okay, I remember when I was in a village, in Pakistan where I used to live. This doll, that they have, this used to be seen like something, the worst criminal used to do it, and if anyone's house this used to be like done, they would see like these people have gone astray, or if they have like a CD or VCR, they used to call it, that they watch movie or thing like that, they would see that something like the sky has broken on those people that have become like they are shayateen. This is how they used to be seen. Now it's second nature. People have it on their phone and screen. If those people who do not see it, or someone talks about a movie and the guy hasn't seen it, they will like, are you backward? Or where did you come from? Why don't you're not aware of your society and this and that? They will see it strange. So I hope the point makes sense, that their attitude with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, going against His boundaries again and again, has become their second nature. They do not think that the Qiyamah will come. This leads us to the next ayah number 5. لِيَوْمٍ عَظِيمٍ, for a tremendous day. Why will they be resurrected? For this day. Previous surah, how we have done إِذَا السَّمَاءُ انْفَطَرَتْ, and the one before it, إِذَا الشَّمْسُ كُوِّرَتْ, and Surah Naba, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about the ahwal, the fright and the horror, the dreadness full of that day. And look at their attitude now with the Qiyamah, the way they are dealing, as we have mentioned, that the crimes have become their second nature. They do not care. Sheikh Muhammad Tahir Panjpiri rahimahullah, he makes a comment here as well, that they are cautious enough when buying and selling, how much profit that they will make, but when it comes to Akhirah, they have zero concern. This is their situation, which we have talked about. And another Sheikh in Tadabbur al-Quran, Ahsan Islahi rahimahullah, he mentions, and I think he elaborates on this point a bit more. You see, he gives the example of the criminals. He says that a murderer who kills, adulterer who does zina and things like that, or thief who steals, they do not consider their actions to be good. If you were to ask them, that what do you think, the impartial opinion with regards to those people, and you were to ask them, what do you think about this murderer or this person who does zina and things like that, what do you think? They will say they are the scum of the society. Basically that's what they will say, and they will say they shouldn't be part of a good society, a noble society. This will be their opinion. So what this shows, that even this filthy guy, this guy who is full of sins, he understands the difference between evil and good. And the Shaykh at the end says that the first 3 ayah of this surah confirms that these criminals who are bent down on this haram, these crimes, they can deny the Qiyamah, but how can they deny their own nature, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has put justice in them? This is evidence against themselves, that those people who deny the Qiyamah. It continues to the next ayah number 6. يَوْمَ يَقُومُ النَّاسُ لِرَبِّ الْعَالَمِينَ, the day when mankind will stand before the Lord of the worlds. This is what's happening on that day, لِيَوْمٍ عَظِيمٍ, where you will be standing in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The one who has been cheated and the one who cheated, both will be standing in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and will be accountable. Your a'mal will be put in front of you. عَلِمَتْ نَفْسٌ مَا قَدَّمَتْ وَأَخَّرَتْ. On that day, did you prioritize in this dunya akhirah, or did you prioritize dunya? You will have that. The things that you have sent forth, the good deeds and bad deeds, both will be presented in front of these criminals. Now is the day, and this day is not a short day, this is a long day. It comes in various narrations, and it comes in the Quran, that this day for the criminals will be like 50,000 years of this dunya. That's how long it will be for the criminals. For the pious it will be a short day. It's not going to be long for the pious, but for the criminals, that's how it will feel like for them. Ayah number 7 كلا إن كتاب الفجار لفي سجين. From here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives تخويف أخروي في رفاخرة بذكر كتاب الفجار مع أحوال العشرة. He mentions, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions كتاب فجار and 10 أحوال of them. So this is from ayah 7 to 17. That's what we're going to learn in this part. Kalla can be used in two different meanings. One is like haqqa, that undoubtedly indeed the record of the wicked is in Sijjin, or it means kalla, mean no. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does rad, denounce that what has been mentioned before, like don't do tatfif. Okay, it's not that you will carry on in your filth and still be saved, or that this false assumption that you have that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is Ghafoor Rahim, let me continue in my deeds and Allah will forgive me. No. This is not going to happen. You feel the way you want to feel now, the consequences are awaiting for you. Okay, so this is that kind of kalla. The word fujjar, kalla inna kitab al-fujjar lafi sijjin. This is, I think we have already talked about this in the previous surah, Surah Al-Fitar. This is like Fajr, yeah? If the nights break and the day comes out, or وَإِذَا الْبِحَارُ فُجِّرَتْ, and when the seas are erupted, yeah? So these criminals, they cannot control themselves, okay? And they open, their whims and desires gush out, okay? This is they're like, this is their situation. So this is these criminals. And the three different types of souls Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about. For these criminals, nafs ammara, this nafs which encourages towards this filth. Okay, this is the kind of nafs they have. There is other nafs which is the opposite of that, which is nafs mutma'inna, which is fully content. The one which is pious. Okay, those kind of people, they have that. And nafs lawama, it makes you feel sorry, yeah, for the things that one has done. So there is hope for these nafs ammara and mutma'inna, but the one which is ammara, this one is the criminal souls which is bent down on crimes upon crimes. And what is sijjin? وَمَا أَدْرَاكَ مَا سِجِّينَ. Ayah number 8. And what can make you know what is sijjin? This questionable manner is only to bring attention and to show importance. This is a place where one should not desire that their soul or their deeds go to this place. Okay, sijjin, what is sijjin? They say it comes out from sijin, which means prison, and sijjin is a horrible prison. Okay, Tafseer Sa'adi, he says the word sijjin refer to a narrow constructed place. Tafseer Ibn Kathir brings an ayah under this to explain what sijjin is, where he says, brings the ayah from the Quran, وَإِذَا أُلْقُوا مِنْهَا مَكَانًا ضَيِّقًا مُقَرَّنِينَ دَعَوْا هُنَالِكَ ثُبُورًا. And when they are thrown into a narrow place, therein bound in chain, they will cry out thereupon for destruction. So this, the sentence in here, وَمَا أَدْرَاكَ مَا سِجِّينَ, is to show the awe and dread found in the sentence here in the word sijjin. The addresser should not regard it to be something ordinary. They should remember that he whose name or deeds are recorded, it shall be doomed. Okay, this is a place which confirms one's failure. Again, Tafseer Ibn Kathir, he brings another ayah. He says, ثُمَّ رَدَدْنَاهُ أَسْفَلَ سَافِلِينَ. Then we reduce him to the lowest of the low, meaning to the hellfire. This was said by Mujahid and so on. This is a few things that we wanted to mention, but basically we cannot go to too many details, but just slightly touched it. The reason for that is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala hasn't given us more information, and it is not from our iman that we find out every single detail about sijjin, what it is. That it is to believe what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has said. One should seek refuge that their soul or their deed go to this place, and we should ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that our name, our record is in Aliyeen. and not in Sijjin. This ayah itself confirms that, or indicates that one cannot know its true reality. وَمَا أَدْرَاكَ مَا سِجِّينٌ. Then continues the next ayah, ayah number 9. كِتَابٌ مَرْقُومٌ. A register inscribed, or in a different translation, it is a register inscribed. This ayah, it requires a bit of attention in order to explain. This understanding of it comes in Tafseer Ibn Kathir, and also the ulama that I have heard, they explain this and they say, what is this kitab marqub? Because he says this is a register inscribed, yeah. And the previous we said, Kalla inna kitab al-fujari lafi sijjin wa ma adraka ma sijjin. Yeah, wa ma adraka ma sijjin is talking about this place, okay. And here is saying this is a register inscribed. So how does these two make sense? So they say that the previous ayah, وَمَا أَدْرَاكَ مَا سِجِّينٌ, it ends there. Okay, that's the end. The repetition of that is only to show the importance, the O of Sijjin. Now, Kitab al-Marqum is actually the tafsir of Kitab Fujjar. Okay, what's going to happen to that? This is their explanation. So basically, Kitab al-Marqum, so the deed book of Fujjar is explained as Kitab al-Marqum is a written book. Okay, they have, it's been written down, it's been inscribed. Okay, I hope this makes sense. A interesting point that I have heard with regards to Kitab in here, the word, the Kitab in here. What is this? They say, this is the view of Dr. Israr Ahmad rahimahullah. He mentioned this in his video tafsir that he does of the surah, and also in his kitab Bayan al-Quran tafsir that he has done. And I also heard it from Mufti Ayaz Durrani rahimahullah when he was doing tafsir of Surah Inshiqaq, same thing, or very similar, where they say that this kitab, meaning of this is not like an actual book, but the effects of deeds on one's soul. The soul is a spiritual thing. So whatever a human does, it has effect on it. So either it becomes nafs ammara, as we have mentioned earlier, it becomes nafs lawama, or it becomes nafs mutma'inna. Okay, all because of their deeds and the way this person is living their life. And the Sheikh gives an example of this, Dr. Israr Ahmad rahimahullah. He says this is an example, like you see in previous times we used to have cassette that we used to record our voices with, yeah, and little tape things. When you start recording, it will record stuff on this ribbon that it had. So similarly, the effects of these deeds are recorded on the soul. So these souls are differentiated because of the a'mal one does, and then the one who are pious are taken to Illin, and those who are the criminals, they are taken to Sijjin. And Mufti Ayaz rahimahullah, he used an ayah in the Quran which he backs up with this, where he says وَكُلَّ إِنسَانٍ نَلْزَمْنَاهُ طَائِرُهُ فِي عُنُقِهِ, and for every person we have imposed his fate upon his neck, like their a'mal is on their neck, but we don't see anything. Okay, so similarly, this is the situation of their book, or their soul. So basically, the soul and the deeds are together, going to one place of the pious and to another place of the criminals. There is one beautiful point that Mufti Ayaz rahimahullah talks about, and I want you to mention that before we finish, and this will be the last point inshallah. He says this nafs, he narrates this point of view from Shah Waliullah and Maulana Sindhi rahimahullah, that this insan has two things, nafs, the physical body, and ruh. Okay, bahimiyah and ruhaniyah, malikiyah sifat in the insan. One is this animal instinct, bahimiyah, and malikiyah, or malikiyah is that the spiritual, okay, ruhani, this thing that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has set in this. This ruh, which is qulur ruh min amri rabbi, which is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, which is from above. Okay, it wants to please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It wants to do things which is pleasing to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And when it does something which is pleasing to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, one finds tranquility. Okay, that's why ala bi dhikrillahi tatma'innul qulub. Yeah, verily in the remembrance of Allah do hearts find rest. Okay, why? Because this ruh is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has prepared things for it which pleases this ruh, which is the obedience of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's why where we end up with, as we have mentioned, with these different types of ruh, okay, because of the actions of this body which pushes down, which looks for tranquility in the things which is in the earth, which leads us to this one point that I wanted to just take out from this, is that you see your ruh which will go to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, okay, to wherever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants to keep it, okay, after this body when it's gone completely. And this body will be joined where the ruh will be taken later on. So please this ruh, okay, with the things that it wants, which is the obedience of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, so your body after the death, after the resurrection, can find peace as well. Otherwise this peace of this dunya is very limited. This tranquility that we see or that we think we feel is very limited, and it will come to an end, while the pleasure and while the happiness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in Jannat and the seeing of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and all the blessings that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will give us, they are eternal in akhirah. So work towards that pleasure rather than this limited pleasure that we think we may receive in this dunya. May Allah forgive our shortcomings and accept the goods from us. Jazakallah khair for listening. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.